Hello everybody out there in PruvIt Nation. This is Dr. Heather Carden coming to you live from Overland Park, Kansas. I am here to help you understand a little bit more about ketones, ketosis, ketone therapy, and how you can use them actually to better your life. So while we're going to wait here just a couple minutes while people get online, know that you can share this with your friends. You can join in. I'll give you a couple minutes to let them know that the Facebook Live is happening now. This is their chance to answer questions about ketones, Keto OS, and keto cream. I always start with just a little bit about myself. I am Dr. Heather Carden. I am one of your nutrition specialists. So when you send a question into support, and if it's a nutrition question, then myself or Dr. Andy help answer those questions the best that we can. And please know that we're not making any medical claims. We're simply there to help you understand better about what is in Keto OS and keto cream. I've been a practitioner for almost 20 years. I have lived a low-carb, high-fat life and been on a ketogenic diet many times throughout my life, either for performance or after having a baby or for medical conditions. We've taught the ketogenic diet in our office, but that's why I am so excited to be here today, because after almost 20 years of trying to help educate people on the ketogenic diet, knowing the amazing benefits ketones have in our body, we know it's also super hard to get in a state of ketosis naturally. And what that means is when you go on a ketogenic diet, your body goes into a really low carbohydrate stage, and then your body flips over and uses ketones, which are just a byproduct of fatty acid metabolism, for fuel. It can take days to weeks to get into a state of ketosis to get all the amazing benefits of ketones. But now for the first time ever, we actually have a tool, or we actually have pure therapeutic exogenous ketones. So we can choose a different diet. We don't have to go on a very stringent low carb, high fat diet. We can simply drink ketones or pure therapeutic ketones, Keto OS, and we can get our body all those amazing benefits of ketones. So let's just talk a little bit about what ketones are and what they do. Like I said before, they are simply a byproduct of fat metabolism. Our body has two fuel sources. It either uses glucose or uses ketones. And for the first time ever, our body can actually use both in the same day. What that means is you can have a diet that's not a ketogenic diet, but you can have a paleo diet, a grain-free diet, a gluten-free diet, the Western diet, a standard American diet, whichever diet you choose. But you can also drink straight ketones and get them into your body. Our body actually makes and utilizes 3 different ketones. What Keto OS has in it is beta-hydroxybutyrate. That really accounts for about 87% of the ketones that our body makes. We also make acetoacetate and acetone. But beta-hydroxybutyrate, which I'll refer to as BHB today because it's just simpler and faster to say, BHB gives us a ton of energy. It gives us more oxygen than we get from glucose. We get more ATP, which means our body's going to run more efficiently, and it's giving energy straight to the cell of the body. So I'm just going to start really quickly here and start answering some questions. So what is ketosis? Ketosis just means you have an elevated level of blood ketones. So you can simply drink Keto OS. It is water soluble. Our liver doesn't have to do anything. Our gallbladder doesn't have to do anything. Our pancreas doesn't have to do anything. We simply drink it up, and our body gets absorbed that in about 20 minutes. And you'll find out within less than 59 minutes with one single serving, your body will be in a state of ketosis. Your body can be using ketones for signaling of our brain, for anti-inflammatory, for fuel source, for burning fat. And then that should last in our body anywhere from 2 to 6 hours, just depending on your diet, or more for some people. So ketosis just means an elevated level of blood ketones and that your body is burning fat for fuel. So on a standard American diet, when our body's using glucose and we're just mainly eating carbohydrates and proteins, then our body's going to use glucose. But again, for the first time ever, we don't have to go on a strict ketogenic diet. We can simply drink Keto OS. But know that if you are in a ketogenic diet, there's still some wonderful, amazing benefits you can get from adding exogenous ketones to your diet. So think of it super simple. Maybe you're already on a paleo diet or a low carb diet or whatever diet you prefer, and maybe you're still using protein powder instead of eating chicken, or maybe you're eating chicken and using protein powder. This is the exact same conversation. I can either eat a whole bunch of fat, I can go on a ketogenic diet and have my body burn endogenous ketones, or I can still eat a diet that's high in healthy fats and drink Keto OS and get ketones in my body. So it simply is just a tool to help you use to get more ketones in your body. So I'm going to start rock and roll and answering questions here. So Pam is asking how ketones can be used for chronic migraine. So migraines can be caused from dozens, maybe even 50 different causes we know that migraines can cause. But there is significant research. When you Google ketones and migraines, you're going to see that ketones specifically decrease inflammation. It also is signalers for the brain. So we see that ketones actually balance out the brain to help decrease migraine activity. But know that migraines can come from a bunch of different things. It can come from stress. It can come from even neck issues. It can come from emotional issues. It can come from food allergies, even hormonal balance. So when ketones are used in our body, because ketones don't have any hormone effect, or there's no hormones in ketones, that it simply signals our body to turn on the healthy signalers in our brain and also promote inflammation or stopping inflammation from happening. So when you Google ketones and migraines, you're going to see a lot of information, or specifically narrow it down and do beta hydroxybutyrate and ketones, because we know that our brain is about 60% fat and runs really efficiently on fuel. So we do see a significant decrease with testimonies and with clinical data of a decrease with migraines or headaches when people have a ketogenic diet or adding exogenous ketones. So you can Google that information and find it. And yes, I want to say hello to everyone, Angie there in Nebraska, and people in Australia and Canada and US and from wherever else you are. So I'm going to keep getting questions here. Who is Keto OS safe for? It is safe for everyone. I generally say womb to tomb because babies are actually born in a ketogenic state. Babies are in ketosis at about 20 weeks. We know that shortly after birth, they're in ketosis because they have to naturally wait anywhere from 18 to maybe 20 hours for mother's milk to come in. And mother's milk is generally very high in ketones itself. So you'll even see some of the baby supplement companies actually putting more healthy fats in there. So that's why I say they're safe from womb to tomb, because we know there's amazing benefits for moms when they're breastfeeding with ketones. We know healthier fats are better for our baby. And we also look at the geriatric population about how amazing ketones are for cognition, mental support, mental clarity, decrease in inflammation, whether it's arthritis or something else. So they are safe for everyone, but I do recommend that you use caffeine-free if you're using it with a child or an elderly person. So Lou is asking about cravings in general and Candida albicans. So Candida albicans is just an imbalance in the body. It can occur throughout the gut, or it can occur generally throughout the whole body. But we know that ketones are very healthy. When you look at ketones in Candida albicans or ketones in gut yeast, we know that the gut yeast can't feed off the ketones. So it actually works to help starve them out and create a healthier balance. And that's actually why I love the 3.0. It has inulin or chicory root, and that is actually a healthy prebiotic to actually signal or turn on the healthy flora in our gut. So that's 3.0 is a great use for that. And again, we know on a ketogenic diet or adding additional ketones, we reduce cravings, and we know that Candida love sugar. So it's one of those bacteria that actually want our body to keep feeding on sugar. So when you can reduce the craving and give your body better energy, you stop craving. We know that Candida doesn't feed well on ketones. Again, you can Google all that clinical information. Sorry, some of these are super hard to read if you... So I'm going to just, Kim, generally what happens if someone asks me about a specific disease, and Kim is asking about Graves' disease, I'm just going to encompass all thyroid disorders and adrenal disorders, because we really want to think of it on a much simpler term. Think about our thyroid, whether it's a Hashimoto's or Graves' disease or hypothyroid, or maybe you've had your thyroid removed. What our thyroid does is a little gland right here. It actually is the ignition for our body. It turns us on. Then we have little glands above our kidneys called adrenal glands that are like the engine for our body, and they produce a lot of hormones. So simply think of Keto OS or exogenous ketones as a fuel for our body. So if you give our body a superior fuel that adds more oxygen, more ATP, reduces inflammation, our ignition is going to start much better, and our engine, which is our adrenal glands, are going to run much better. Our bodies are born to burn ketones. It knows what to do with them and when to use it and when not to use it. So I would say give your body a chance and add those healthy ketones in there, and you'll see amazing things happen. Keto OS doesn't treat any medical disease. It doesn't cure anything. It simply is a fuel source to add back into your body that we've honestly been missing for several decades because we've been living on a low-fat, high-carb diet and feeding off the standard American diet. So there's amazing, amazing benefits. So yes, Lila's asking about Keto OS and thermogenic. So Ketones can actually act as a thermogenic in our body, which is an amazing thing to happen. We know as we age, I'm going to talk about men and women, but as we age, our metabolic system tends to slow down. That's why people can gain weight easier. People say, oh, I used to eat that, I used to do that, or now I'm putting on weight, or I'm even exercising X amount of hours a week and I'm still unable to do that. That's because our metabolism starts to slow down as we get older. We're not the kid on the playground anymore. And actually growth hormone stops. So when we give our body ketones, we know that ketones are actually anti-aging. They actually increase thermogenesis, which means it increases the metabolic state of our body. And Dr. Jacob Wilson did an amazing talk last night about the thermogenic metabolics of ketones. So if you want more, if we can get a replay from last night, that would be awesome. But yes, ketones do have a thermogenic effect. I know some people will drink it and they'll feel kind of warm if they drink it too fast. That's a great thing because your body's actually increasing its thermogenic. It's burning calories more sufficient. You're burning fat more sufficient. So again, I think it's a great thing to happen and a great, one of the other great benefits of ketones. So why does Max give you more energy than the other formulas? Well, Max is just that. Max is a max amount of beta hydroxybutyrate. So what PruvIt has done is they have formulated a maximum formulation of beta hydroxybutyrate. They've taken the molecule, they've blended it and twisted it from what I understand from a lab. What happens, it's a maximum amount that you can get your body into ketosis and experience a longer state of ketosis. So it will feel a little bit stronger. I know that some people who are maybe doing one full serving of the Keto OS 2.1 or 3.0, when they use the max, they can actually reduce their serving size and still get all the benefits of ketosis and still get in ketones. We know that Max is the most bioavailable ketone supplement on the market. Another great thing is that it's vegan certified, kosher certified, and Sport Informed certified. So Eva is asking, can you explain why ketone sticks, oh yes, absolutely. So Eva's asking if you're using a ketone stick. So let's talk about how do I know if I'm in ketosis? Well, how I know if I'm in ketosis is 3 different ways I can test. I can either check my urine, and there's a simple little test for that. You just buy them at the pharmacy, and if it turns colors anywhere from pink to purple, it tells your body you have a trace of ketones or a moderate or a maximum amount of ketones. And that's actually very easy and economical to use, but it's probably the most unreliable. The other one, you can actually do a blood stick. Just like people check their cholesterol or check their blood glucose, you can check your blood ketones. That's absolutely the most accurate measurement to use, but it's a little bit expensive. It can be anywhere from $3 to $5 per stick for using that, but that's another way to tell. Ketonics also makes a breathalyzer, but you need to reset that on your computer or make sure that you calibrate that every day. It seems to be once you get it calibrated, it will tell you by just blowing into a little tube, it gives you a different color and tells you if you're in ketosis or not. But what happens is after your body gets fat adapted, and that's the word I'm going to use, it's used to burning fats for fuel. Maybe you've been using Keto OS, you've dialed down your diet, you really feel like your body's burning fats for fuel, you're burning pretty low on carbs, and the urine sticks stop showing that you're in ketosis, but you feel amazing. You still feel like you're in ketosis. Maybe even your breath smells or your urine smells like you're in ketosis, but the stick is saying no. That's because your body says, all right, I'm in the game. We're actually going to stay with this plan. We're going to burn fats for fuel. We're not going to yo-yo, and we're not going to do 3 days of carbs and 2 days of fats and 3 days of carbs, or, one day I'm going to burn some fats, the other day I'm going to burn some carbs. Your body actually starts holding on to that extra ones. They'll convert those ketones to the beta hydroxybutyrate and start using that for fuel and actually storing that or using that for the next day. It's a great thing that happens when your body's urine sticks are no longer showing that you're in ketosis if you know you're truly in ketosis. I tell people quit focusing on the urine sticks. Go by how you feel, go by how you sleep, go by how you recover after a day, go by how your moods are. I think that's a much better thing than a color of a stick. But if you have a significant medical condition that your doctor has advised you to use the ketogenic diet for, then that's another conversation where you do need to continue to check your blood ketones. Just like if you're on blood pressure medication, your doctor would have you check your blood pressure. But for the normal person, it's a great thing that after 4 to 6 weeks that your body no longer shows up on those urine sticks. So that's actually a day to celebrate. Okay, Anne-Marie's asking about heart palpitations. I'm going to get busy with questions here. Anne-Marie, can Keto OS cause heart palpitations? Keto OS, or the beta hydroxybutyrate, by itself will not do that. Caffeine, as we know, can cause heart palpitations or increase of blood pressure for some people. We also know heart palpitations can be caused if the body gets dehydrated. Ketones have a mild diuretic effect. So if a person's dehydrated and takes Keto OS too fast, which means they just slug it down, they could potentially get some heart palpitations, but that's due to dehydration. But if they're doing a lot of caffeine and adding one of the Keto OSs with caffeine, then the caffeine can cause a heart palpitations. MCT oil in a very few amount of people, because MCT oil is in the 2.1. It is an amazing source of energy. Some people will experience a little bit of heart palpitations with the 2.1 that has the MCT and the caffeine, especially if they're dehydrated. If that's a fact, I'm going to say use a 3.0 or max and use it caffeine free, and make sure you're drinking tons of water. Even if your body's low on magnesium, it can cause heart palpitations. So there's many reasons that you could experience that. So just make sure that you're drinking enough water, you're drinking Keto OS slowly, and you're keeping your body, again, well hydrated. Oh, Sean, I love this question. Can you overdose on exogenous ketones? So Sean, I'm going to keep this conversation to Keto OS, which is pure therapeutic exogenous ketones. We have found no clinical data saying that you can overuse too much Keto OS because it's water soluble. What that means is that your body will use what it wants and it will excrete what it doesn't want. Just like things like vitamin C are water soluble, but like vitamin D are fat soluble. Fat soluble supplements can build up in your body. Water-soluble supplements will simply be excreted out. Now, if you have too much Keto OS, again, we recommend 1 serving as a therapeutic serving, 2 for optimal performance. But if you're one of those biohackers out there and love how it makes you feel, and maybe you take 3 or 4 servings of Keto OS, what can happen is your body can get a little bit dehydrated. So if you get too much Keto OS, your tummy may tell you, either in the form of constipation or diarrhea, or you may get a slight headache because you're using too many ketones. Again, optimal performance is 2 servings a day. But I do get a lot of questions about people using 3 or 4, but we have challenged this. Brian Lowry and Dr. Wilson have challenged this in the lab. They've taken multiple servings of Keto OS. They've checked their blood levels of millimole, which is the most accurate, and they have not reached any critical level that has caused any type of health issues at all. So I'm glad you asked that question. Laura's asking about osteoarthritis. So Laura, it's hard to read that question. So I'm going to answer that just about inflammation. So hopefully, Laura, you're asking about inflammation and ketones. We know, we've done some clinical data, and there was an article published in 2015. And if you go to PruvItNow.com/research, you'll find this article talking about beta hydroxybutyrate, which is the main ingredient or the main ketone body in Keto OS, actually inhibiting inflammatory processes in our body, a specific one called NLRP3 inflammasome. So we know that ketones, when they're in our body, can stop inflammation. So whether we're talking about acute strain sprain, or we're talking about chronic osteoarthritis, or we're talking about inflammation in the gut, or we're talking about gout inflammation, or just any type of general inflammation in the skin, even having skin issues is called inflammation. We know that ketones can inhibit inflammation. And you can find that clinical data. You can Google BHB and inflammation or inflammation and ketones, and you can find several different articles on that. And I keep referring to finding that data because I know some people out there like me, they want to dig into their own research. They want to see where it is. But again, there's a lot of amazing research at PruvItNow.com/research about cognitive disorder, about neuroprotectiveness of ketones, how they're used for fat loss, how they're used for inflammation. So Lisa, I would put Crohn's disease in the same conversation that we just talked about with fighting inflammation. And Lisa, I would love for a person with gut issues, I would recommend the 3.0 because it has the chicory or inulin root in there. Again, what that is, it's a prebiotic, which means it starts the beginning of digestion and it turns on healthy gut bacteria. A lot of the media these days are talking about gut flora being out of balance. We don't have good gut bugs. We don't have good gut flora. So what 3.0 does is it has those healthy inulin or chicory root, which has been around for centuries and used for digestion and for blood sugar balancing and for bone health. So that's a great thing to use if you have any concern at all with gut inflammation or gut health, and really start really slow. Don't worry about the urine sticks. Start with a fourth or half a serving for the first 2 or 3 days. And then if your stomach does great, increase as your body tells you. And Kim, I would say the same thing about acne, because acne can be caused from many different things. It can be caused from hormone imbalance. It can be caused from yeast infections. It can be caused from foods that we eat. But we know that ketones decrease inflammation. And if ketones can reduce our sugar cravings, then we know it's going to be healthier overall for our body. Leslie said she was just going to ask about Crohn's. It always seems to be a common theme of the day. So D. Wright, I'm glad you asked about keto flu. I don't think there's a thing as keto flu. I know you can Google it and find a lot of keto flu, but I actually call it carb flu. So if you use Keto OS and you don't change your diet and you simply add ketones into your body, you should not experience any carb flu or keto flu. It's got sodium, magnesium, potassium. It's got minerals in there. So as your body eliminates inflammation, you're not going to have that happen. But on a true ketogenic diet, when people refer to keto flu, because remember, a true ketogenic diet, your body uses on a true ketogenic diet, your body uses its own ketones or makes its own ketones to use. Then we know that that's actually more of a carb flu because you're cutting out all those carbs. The diet's about 5% carbs. So keto flu, I generally call carb flu because you're cutting out all those stimulants, all those sugars, all those processed foods, and you're not going to feel good if you're a carbitarian. So if you want to combat that, then just do things slower. Add the Keto OS in there for week 1, increase your water, and then slowly decrease your carbohydrates if you want to find that native 8 lifestyle, and just do it slow and steady. We put extra minerals back in Keto OS, so as your body eliminates inflammation and it goes through that natural fat loss stage, your body's going to recover much better. And I always love an Epsom salt bath. It's got great magnesium and other minerals in there to help balance out your body's pH. So, I think someone just asked about ketones and asthma. So there's many causes of asthma also, but if we just break it down and think of asthma as being inflammation, and we know that ketones stop inflammation, and secondarily we know that ketones increase oxygenation to our tissue, that would make sense whether it's emphysema or asthma or seasonal allergies, that we should get amazing benefits. And thanks for all the thumbs up and hearts, that should help. So again, just break down it. So when you look or you have a question about maybe will it help with this or help with that, so then we know that we see the benefits here. And yes, McKay just talked about adding electrolytes. So we talked about ketones being a mild diuretic. That's why we get an amazing loss of inflammation. That's why we get fat loss. But know that when you lose unwanted things like fat and inflammation, your body will also take healthy magnesium, electrolytes, other things. Know that we have put those minerals back into the body. We have put sodium back into Keto OS, but know that you may need to find a good electrolyte balance or a good multi-mineral to help supplement that as you're taking your body's losing that inflammation. So Charlotte, the same thing with fibromyalgia and MS. We know there's probably 5 decades of information about MS and a ketogenic diet. So you can apply those same principles when we talk about ketones, but know that Keto OS or exogenous ketones are not a substitution for a ketogenic diet. Know that you can actually just add the benefits of ketones into your diet. So if there's a specific medical issue like MS, then I would encourage you to go on a low carb, high fat diet, but I'm not making any medical recommendations, but you can find that information out there. But yes, there are amazing benefits with all neurological disorders and movement disorders with ketones, whether it's Parkinson's, MS, ALS, dyskinesia, any of those type of movement disorders, or with MS, we see amazing results when people use ketones in their body. Again, Google it and find your own information. Be your own investigator, or be your own ninja out there and find the information. So Kendra's asking, I'm borderline diabetic during my 2nd pregnancy and had gestational diabetes. So Kendra, I am just going to recommend, or anybody out there who's had a history of a medical issue, just check with your physician before you add any vitamin supplement. And this is again a nutritional supplement. So before adding any vitamin, Keto OS or protein powder, prebiotic, anything, just always check with your medical health care physician. Know that Dr. Andy and I cannot give medical information. We cannot override what their medical doctor had said. I know a lot of times Dr. Andy and I get information that says, my doctor says I can't take it, can I take it? Know that we cannot give that medical advice. We can simply teach and tell you more about Keto OS and what ketones can do for you. So Frank Preeb, can Keto OS be good for a supplement for a person with a broken jaw who can't eat? So Frank, just think of the inflammation properties we've talked about and know that it's good energy. So maybe someone who has a broken jaw, or someone maybe who just got braces or is having difficulty chewing, know it's a great energy source. It is not a meal replacement. It is not a meal replacement. It is a source of energy though. So it can help decrease inflammation. It can help keep your brain firing because the brain will absolutely take up those ketones, especially if there's no other food around. So it's a great thing to use as a tool to use post-surgery, pre-surgery to get your body in the right form and shape. And I'm going to actually talk a little bit about the holidays coming up too. So Christy said there's so much great information we'd love to download on an MP3. Christy, you can actually go back and watch all these Facebook Lives that I've been doing, I think for about 4 or 5 months. So if you go to facebook.com, Prove It Now, I guess you guys are here, / just prove it. You can go to videos and you can see all Rob DeVore's videos. You can see all Keto Mom's videos. You can see all of our past videos that we do. And I've been here every Wednesday, I think for the past several months. So you can go back and listen to those as you're doing laundry, as you're cleaning. Generally, you'll find they have a specific theme. People will either ask a lot of questions about thyroid, a lot of questions about inflammation, or maybe it's a diabetes day. People are asking about that. But you can go back and listen to this. You can share this. I know it's the middle of the day for most people, so know that you can share this to your own page. It's a great way to help people understand what ketones can do for their body and what they are and what they are not. Do ketones lose effectiveness if they are premixed and not drank immediately? Sherry, what they recommend at the lab, and I get this question quite often, I generally recommend mix up as much Keto OS as you can drink in 1 hour. So if you can't drink a full serving in an hour, only half a serving, just mix that up. The lab does recommend that you mix what you can drink within an hour. And what can happen though, if you're drinking out of a glass, like if I drink out of my glass and I put it in the fridge and come back 2 or 3 hours later, actually the saliva from my mouth can actually sometimes degrade or cause more bacteria in there. And that's true for anything that you're drinking off all day. But no, the lab does recommend that you drink whatever you can within an hour. And I know some people do premix it as ease, but I know that these on-the-go packets make everything easier. If you're trying to haul the can around all day and mix that, that's harder to do. This is a great thing to travel, have it at work. It's an easy mix and go. It's less than 3-second process to rip it over and shake it up. So I'd rather have you mix and drink what you can within the hour. Oh, Sherry's telling me, but the bottle says, Sherry, I will go back and read that. Thank you for telling me that, because that's what I was originally told. I'd get some on the help center. So I will go back and double check that for you. Thank you for letting me know. We've got about 4 minutes left here, and what I usually like to do is just really go over, the sun's moving on us, really go over the differences in the products and when you might use what, because that's a lot of questions that we get. But know that, I'm sorry if I didn't get your question answered today. I know our time goes by super quick. Know that there's an amazing help center. If you go to PruvItNow.com and scroll all the way to the bottom, it says Help Center, and the first tab says Products. So it will, if you tab on that, there's 19 different information about the product, what the potential side effects are of Keto OS, which can be gut imbalances or disturbances, or again, it can cause mild diuretic. It will give you each package. It will tell you where the source of caffeine is from. It will tell you exactly what is in each of the ones. So the labels there, the breakdown of what it is in there. So if you have a question about something I didn't answer today, check the Help Center first. And if it's not there, then send it into support@PruvItHQ.com. But the second tab is a health tab. This first question is it safe for pregnancy and for kids and for breastfeeding? And you're going to get the proper answer there. It's going to say, is it safe for liver and for your kidneys? But the answer is yes, but it gives a lot of clinical data. Is it safe? And it tells the difference between type 1, type 2 diabetes. Is it safe for ketoacidosis? And gives an amazing breakdown there. So make sure you check there to get the information. And then if you can't find it, send it into support@PruvItNowHQ.com. I find it, a lot of people actually don't even know it's there, but it's an amazing resource. It's a living document, so we're continually updating that as we update the product. So hopefully you have your pen and paper, and hopefully you are ready to go. So we're going to start with 2.1, which is the Orange Dream. All of the products, Keto OS 2.1, 3.0, and Max, have beta hydroxybutyrate. That is the active ketone body. That's the ingredient that we're all seeking. That's the ingredient which gives us amazing energy, gives us fat loss, neural protection, better sleep, better moods, better cognitive, more energy. So the beta hydroxybutyrate is the main ingredient in all of them. What we changed is the fat and a couple other components. So 2.1 is the Orange Dreamsicle. It has MCT oil in it. So MCT is a great source of energy. So as your body digests the beta hydroxybutyrate, your body can process the MCT and comes right behind the ketone body, beta hydroxybutyrate, and your body gets more energy. It has a smidgen of dairy in there, and that's where the iodine and B12 source are from. It's 1.5 grams. Again, you can find that information in the Help Center. It's simply used just to plate the ketone body, or the BHB, to the MCT oil. It comes in caffeine and non-caffeine, or charged and non-charged. 3.0 is chocolate. It has no dairy in it. It doesn't have MCT. It has a butyrate, which is actually what you find when you're eating grass-fed butter. Butyrate, or butyric acid, is a great anti-inflammatory, also a great source of energy. So it really complements the ketone body. Plus it has chicory or inulin in it, which helps, again, we talked about, it's a prebiotic to turn on the healthy gut bacteria. Plus it has additional amino acids. So whether you're a growing child or an aging person, or you're a super workout person or recovering from an injury, we can always use extra friendly ketone body amino acids. So that's what the 3.0 has. Max is the Maui punch. So Max doesn't have any MCT. It doesn't have any butyrate. It doesn't have any inulin or chicory root. What it does have is a blend of BHB, so it's the max amount of ketones that you can get into your body. It is the most bioavailable ketone supplement on the market in the US, or globally, I would say. And it is a Maui Punch flavored. It turns red because of beet powder. People ask me, why is it red and everything else is not? The others, and everything's flavored with essential oils, so there's no artificial coloring, there's no artificial flavoring, it's all natural. And it also has additional amino acids. What that means, specifically taurine, is from a vegan source, which means that your body can take the taurine and it can break it down into additional amino acids and actually turn on protein synthesis. So there's many, many wonderful reasons. And people will say, well, which one would you take? Which one would I take? Well, we are a divided household, not between KU and K-State. If you're a Kansas fan, we are divided as in, I have one of my 4 sons loves the Max. He won't take anything else. He hides it. He keeps it from us. I love the chocolate. I love the taste of it. I love the benefits of it. And my husband's still the original guy. He loves the 2.1. But the great news is you can mix and match them throughout the day. Maybe you're just kind of getting tired of the orange flavor and you want to mix it up, or you want to have a different mission where maybe you're having some gut issues and going through that, and maybe you want to use the 3.0. Again, you can mix and match them throughout the day. The main ingredient is the beta hydroxybutyrate. That's the ketone body that we're all wanting to get the benefits. The last product is the Keto Cream. The Keto Cream does not have any ketone bodies in it, but it has all the amazing ingredients for your body to make ketones body. It has MCT powder. I don't know if you've ever tested MCT oil, but it has kind of a texture issue. And before this, I was putting MCT oil in my coffee. Now I can put a delicious tasting powder in my coffee instead. MCT powder. It has coconut powder, which is C8, C10, and C12. Amazing antibacterial, antiviral, antiparasitic. It's a great antioxidant for our immune system. Again, a great source of energy. Plus, we have a patent blend of Ceylon cinnamon, which is great for inflammation. It's great for balancing out blood sugar. It's a great flavor. So know that the Keto Cream doesn't have any ketones body, no BHB, but your body can take that 15 grams of healthy fat and make the ketone bodies from it. But know that it's not just for coffee. Know that this is also a great source of fats for kiddos to have. So you can make a popsicle out of it. You can make a cookie. You can make a slushie out of it. You can make a root beer float if you want to. Just use the stevia, because I'm not a big sugar fan for the kids. You can sprinkle it on food if you want to. Know that it's not just for coffee or for tea. You can mix it with a LaCroix. You can make a slushie. You can serve it hot or cold. A great way to get more healthy fats into your body, a great way to help keep your brain focusing. So I know our time is up today, but I want to give a huge shout out, and I forgot to ask, I want a number 1 if you are new to our specialist on Wednesday. So a number 1 if you're brand new to PruvIt, brand new to Keto OS, and have not been on any of our live nutrition calls. Number 2, if you've been to our Facebook Live before, you've shared it. Number 3, if you've never tried Keto OS and you just came across this page and someone just introduced you to PruvIt and said, what are ketones and what is Keto OS? Put a number 3 down. Now the important one, the drum roll. Number 4, if you're going to the West Palm Beach Spark. So this Friday and Saturday, there is an amazing Spark event in West Palm Beach. And there is an amazing event in Kansas City. So 5 if you're coming to Kansas City, 5 if you have your tickets, 5 if you're coming to Kansas City Spark. We have an amazing event for Friday. We're going to talk about ketone fuel, ketone energy. We're going to talk about what ketones can do for your life. And then we have a full day of training with the amazing Michael Rutherford. So to get that information, just go to the event section on the PruvIt page, Facebook page, and you'll find both of those invites there. So I'm looking here. We have a lot of 1. So welcome all the new people. And number 2, thank you for coming back. And hopefully I brought some good value to your day, furthered your information about ketones, ketone bodies, and what ketone therapy can do for you. And again, if you've never tried it, get with somebody, get yourself a sample and taste it and try it, and then share your experience with us. So the review of benefits from ketones, simply right on the can there. Fat loss, better energy, better sustainable energy, better brain fog, better focus, better sleep, Strength gain. We didn't even talk about ketones are actually muscle sparing, so they increase strength. They actually help balance out your appetite by decreasing cravings and giving you more energy. Most people tend to overeat or eat a food that they know is not healthy for them because they're either tired or hungry or craving it. So ketones decrease that feeling of hunger. That's called satiety. So it increases your satiety, so you're not hungry as much because it's giving healthy fat. It takes cravings away and gives you an amazing amount of energy. Also better for sleep, clear skin, better digestion, like we talked about, reducing inflammation. So thank you all for being here. Know that you can share this with other friends and family members who were maybe working today, not able to be here. If you're brand new and you want to hear some of the past Facebook Lives, just simply go to the video section and you can go back from there. So again, thank you for having an amazing day. I look forward to seeing everyone in Kansas City this weekend on Friday night, 7 o'clock. If you can't come to Kansas City, get to West Palm Beach. And I will see all of you next Wednesday at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time for our Facebook Live. Have a blessed day.